December last year. Okay, December last year was the last time we hosted a call like this. And what we saw in VTG thereafter was absolutely insane. It was incredible. It was magnificent, right? So I'm super excited that we actually get to do this again. And now we have near enough, 90 people on this call. I'm sure we're going to reach 100 and surpass it in the next few minutes, okay? But we are packed out this evening. Now, the beautiful thing about this call is it's going to be one that will change your life, right? Because every single one of you joined VTG for money, right? Can we just be honest, right? We joined for money. If you joined VTG to learn how to make more money, drop a money bag in the chat, or a money sign, a pound sign, a dollar sign, a euro sign, whatever sign it is, okay? Drop it in the chat. Because whether it's a case that you want more time freedom, right? And you need more money to be able to do that, or you need more income, you need to pay more bills, you've got big goals, you want to clear a mortgage, you want to clear some debts, you want to treat your parents, you want to treat your kids. I see Wonga, right? It's money related, and it all comes down to the same thing, right? But sometimes we're scared to have these money conversations. We're scared to really have someone tell us the truth, right? About how you're actually going to increase your finances, right? So that's why I love this call, because it addresses the truth. It addresses the elephant in the room, right? So I'm warning some of you, if you have a sensitive disposition, if you're delicate, okay, if you're what they call a snowflake in today's society, you may find some information on here that stings, because you may hear the truth about yourself, right? But they say the truth will set you free. The truth will set you financially free in this case, okay? Now, I'm not going to be the one to deliver this information that you guys are going to hear tonight, okay? Before we go ahead and tackle the main core of what we're about to speak about, I want to really give a lot of thanks and a lot of dedication to the person that I'm going to introduce to you guys, because they say sometimes familiarity breeds contempt, right? Sometimes when someone is in your vicinity and you're used to them, you see them all the time, you hear from them all the time, you actually don't appreciate the proximity that you have. You don't appreciate the access that you have, because this person who's going to be taking this call and taking us through this information is someone that I can hand on heart say actually changed my whole life when it came to finances. This is a person of impact. This is a person that doesn't just give you the impression of increase, but they actually bring the increase, right? I said this on a call last year, right? I said, there's something very strange when you hang around this person. Something very weird happens when you listen to this person, when you follow this person. Guys, do you want to know what the weird thing is? The weird thing is that when you hang around this person, that you have a nasty, nasty tendency to make more money. It's really, really, really weird. Okay? You hang around this person long enough, you see your bank balance just go like this. Okay, and that is one of the things that is actually a blessing about this person, that every single one of you are privileged to be able to have day-to-day contact with this person. And trust me, you stay coachable, you stay close to the fire, your bank account is going to continue to increase. No word of a lie. No word of a lie. It's not just happened once. There's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people, or even more, 100 people who can testify to this. It's facts. Okay, this is someone that set a goal from an early age to not have to work a job beyond the age of 30, and it was done. This is someone that set aside a goal, a vision to be able to impact and create not only six-figure traders, but six-figure entrepreneurs, and it was done. This is a person who holds both, who's able to hold both titles of certified funded trader and six-figure entrepreneur themselves, and it's been done. Can someone just put done in the chat box? Drop the word done in the chat box, because when you talk about a goal is nothing until it's done. This is facts. This is receipts. This is not, oh, they could, or they might, or they may. They've done it. They are doing it. It is real. Okay? This is someone who's worked for some of the largest financial organizations in the world, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. This is someone who's been running this organization, BTG, the Visionary Traders Group, turning up day after day after day after day and pouring and tweaking and refining and excelling and teaching and impacting and coaching and mentoring every day for 6 years. Guys, if you are not taking notes on this call, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you don't like money. I don't know. Maybe you and money fell out, right? I don't know what happened, but I urge you, take notes, right? open your ears, open your mind, open your heart, and just literally drop the sevens in the chat, blow up the chat for our Mr. VTG, Icon 15, Jason Agbodza. Jason, are you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Nicola. Can you hear me?
I can, absolutely. Go ahead.
Awesome. Fantastic. Wow. Guys, can we give it right back to the Lieutenant Nicola Johannan? What an introduction. I'm like, Lord have mercy. You really talking about me? We give thanks indeed. Let's drop some 777s for an amazing leader. We are truly grateful for you and everything that you do within the organization. Truly been an excellent example of what is possible, through this platform, through entrepreneurship, through trading, and we're grateful for you and everything that you do indeed. So thank you once again for the wonderful introduction. But guys and girls, how are we all doing? 222s in the chat box. Let me know that you can see me, you can hear me clearly. Guys, do you notice anything different in the background? Today is a good day. Today is a very good day. It's a special day. Very special day for multiple reasons. Multiple reasons. As you can see, we have finally made the move to Canary Wharf, a place I had on the vision board on the laptop, and it has finally come to pass. The vision does not tarry indeed. It has been a journey, and it makes this moment very special because, as Nicola mentioned, we did this call back in December, December 2023. It is now October, it's nearly November. It's my daughter's birthday in 2 days. So a lot of things happening, and it just goes to show what's possible as a result of never giving up, for trusting the process, for committing to the plan. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for every single one of the leaders that's on this call, every single customer. We're grateful because none of this would be possible without every one of you here. And this is why, we host calls like this to help you to understand what is possible if you take this opportunity very seriously. We extended this invite to wider communities as well today, to really ensure that people can get information that can change their situation, because most of you are obviously you're all trading here. You've got access to this platform. You've seen benefits and results as a result of this platform. But some of you may not even be aware that there are two sides of available streams of income when it comes to this platform, right? That you can actually become an entrepreneur because of this platform. You can earn residual income because of this platform. And that is what we're going to be talking about today, as in what is the business and why you should build it. Because it has been a blessing to me and for so many other individuals around the world. We're talking tens of thousands of individuals around the world. It is a truly phenomenal industry, and it has changed my life and the lives of so many individuals. So as Nicola mentioned, please make sure that you're paying attention, because the information we'll cover can alter the financial trajectory of your life and your family's future. Does that make sense? So with that being said, guys, we're going to get into the information. I'm going to talk. Let me just make sure that you're ready. Drop a 111 in the chat box. If you're with me, you're ready to receive, right? You're open to hearing new possibilities, alternative ways of generating income, and why you should consider this business. All right, fantastic. The ones are coming through. And again, a massive welcome to all new members in our community. I know we've had a massive surge of new members off the back of that free trial. Hope you enjoy your stay, right? And primarily this call is for our existing members who've experienced this for a long time, but we'll definitely still want to open up to everyone so that you are aware of what it is that we do and why we do it and what is possible on this platform. Okay. So that being said, let me go ahead and share my screen and we will get into the information. All right. Awesome stuff. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, cool. So, best of both worlds. Why build the business? Earn a residual income alongside your trading. Now, let's begin with the cash flow quadrant. Drop a 1 in the chat box if you have seen this image before. Drop a 1 in the chat box if you've seen this image before. All right, see the ones coming through. Right, drop a 2 in the chat box if you have not seen this image before? Okay, lots of twos. Okay, this is good. Awesome stuff. Okay, so we're going to give you some education first and foremost, right? So, gentleman named Robert Kiyosaki. So grateful for this man, multi-millionaire. He's the author of the book, The Rich Dad, Poor Dad book. Okay, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you have never read that book, I implore you to please read that book. The experience that I've had after reading that book was, I would liken to the film The Matrix, right? Many of you have watched the film The Matrix, you know, where your eyes become enlightened. That is what happened to me as a result of reading this book. He's also the author of a book called Cash Flow Quadrant, okay? And he explains this principle, okay? About 4 ways of producing income. And he explains that 95% of the world's population only control 5% of the world's wealth. Yet 5% of the world's population control 95% of the world's wealth. That is insane. And how is this occurring? Why is this occurring? Well, because of these 4 positions here, the first 2 on the left-hand side, you see as employees and as the self-employed. Drop a 1 in the chat box if you are either an employee or you are self-employed. Drop a 1 in the chat box. All right, fantastic. See the ones coming through. Now, there is nothing wrong with being an employee. We give God thanks for employees and for jobs. But to only rely on one stream of income in this day and age is like financial suicide. We have the cost of living crisis, all kinds of struggle and challenges. It is vitally important that we do things different to get different results, okay? And if you are self-employed, then it really all falls on you. And individuals, which is the majority of people on this planet, right? They fall into this category on the left-hand side, the employees, the self-employed, they're 95% of the world's population, and they control 5% of the world's wealth, okay? Now, on the right side, you have business owners and investors. These are the 5% individuals on this planet. Type 5% in the chat box. These are the 5%ers. These are people who own businesses, leverage systems, resources, tools, people, right? Systems to go ahead and generate recurring money. And then you have investors, those who utilize money to make more money. Now, we are in a beautiful position in this platform. Why? Because we are participating in a form of investing, which is trading. In other words, we use our money to make money. That is what trading is, and that is a form of investing. And that's why we aim to compound our money, right? So you're already making good efforts by you being on this call to transitioning to the 5%, right? But we understand that multiple sources of income is the key to wealth. And you have the opportunity to become a business owner, to leverage systems, people, right? Networks, right? Resources to create another stream of income as well. And this is how wealth is created, right? If you want to move from the left side of the quadrant to the right side of the quadrant, you have to be an investor and become a business owner. Am I making sense? Drop a 777 if that makes sense. That explanation makes sense, right? Awesome stuff, okay? So we have a fantastic opportunity here. And so the opportunity in question is that of network marketing, okay? Network marketing. What is it? Why should we do it? What are the benefits? What are some of the challenges that people face when it comes down to this? And why is there so much skepticism around this industry? Well, we're going to break it down today. We're going to break it down so you get full clarity, because when you don't have clarity, you can't really believe in what it is that you're doing, and you fail to take the necessary actions in order to achieve what it is that you say you want to achieve, okay? So let's go ahead and break this down. What is network marketing? Network marketing essentially is a distribution channel through people, okay? It is a distribution channel through people. You are essentially marketing a product or service through people, okay? So you have all these businesses that are around the world, okay? They have a product or a service that they want to get to the end consumer, a customer, a client. Now, how do businesses go about ensuring that customers hear about or are aware of their product? They market, they advertise, yes? Okay. They market and they advertise. Now, traditional forms of advertising costs a hell of a lot of money. Would you agree? Drop a 1 in the chat box if you agree with that statement, right? Whether it's billboards, TV, radio, right? You see individuals take advantage of the Super Bowl and they will pay millions in advertising to make sure that people are aware of what it is they do. To say attention is the new currency, especially in this age, right? You have social media advertising now, Facebook ads, TikTok ads, so on and so forth. That costs a hell of a lot of money. But if people don't know what it is you do, then they can't buy from you and your business suffers. And so the smart thing about network marketing is that instead of using traditional forms of advertising, you take that advertising budget and you compensate individuals who have experienced what it is that you want them to experience, and they can give a testimonial. They can testify to the benefits of the product and participate in what is the most powerful form of advertising, which is word of mouth advertising or word of mouth marketing. Does that make sense, guys? Drop a 2 to 2 in the chat box if that makes sense, right? Word of mouth marketing is the most powerful form of advertising, right? Let me ask a question real quick. My Afro-Caribbean sisters on the call, okay? Have you ever referred another lady to a particular hair shop to buy color 1B weave or jet black or 2C? You think I don't know? I know the colors. Has anyone ever done that? Drop a 1 in the chat box if you have done that before. You ever referred another lady to another hair shop? Let me know in the chat box. Talk back to me. We're having a conversation today. Okay, I see the ones coming through. Okay, when you make the referral, the hair shop, usually an Asian, right? Did they say, thank you so much for making my shop richer. Let me give you a slice of the profits. Yes or no? Put it in the chat box for me. No. Okay, fantastic. But you made them richer. With what? Your word of mouth. Hello, somebody. The man them on the call. Man them. Have you ever taken a lady to a nice restaurant before? Right? Let me know in the chat. Have you taken a lady to a restaurant before? Yeah? Okay, fantastic. When you made the referral to the restaurant, did the restaurant owner say, thank you so much for making my restaurant richer? No, they did not. But again, you made them richer with your word of mouth. So we are all participating in word of mouth marketing on a day-by-day basis, and we are not being compensated for it. Does that make sense? That is what we're doing. It is the most powerful form of advertising. And it is a $200 billion industry. It is bigger than the NFL. It's bigger than the movie industry. We're not talking about some small thing here. This industry generates billions of dollars. That is what network marketing is. You are literally providing a service and a product for a distribution channel of people. Okay? Now, let's talk about some misconceptions about network marketing. Okay? We talk about pyramid schemes and this, that, and the other. Somebody say you need to be extrovert. Let's deal with it one at a time, right? It says you need to be extrovert and you need to know people. You need to be confident. You need to have good contacts. Now, all of these things will definitely help you if you participate in network marketing, but they're not mandatory. They're not mandatory in order for you to succeed in this industry. Do you know how many introverted individuals have gone on to become 6- and 7-figure earners in this industry? You can actually change. You can actually become more than you currently are, right? Through systems, through personal development, through mentorship. And when the why becomes powerful enough, you become willing to do things you never thought you'd be willing to do, right? Someone say, oh, you have to know a lot of people. Guys, there are millions and billions of people on this planet. Drop a 1 in the chat box if you came into VTG as a result of Instagram or TikTok. Drop a 1. Wow, look at the ones. So you came into VTG as a result of Instagram or TikTok. The ones are flying through. Okay. Right? Drop a 2 if you haven't met the individual face to face who referred you, those of you who came from TikTok and Instagram. Wow. Okay. So strangers across the globe, watch this now, were willing to take out their bank card to someone they've never seen before over the internet, and they're here now. Which means, again, it's not the case of you having to know a lot of people. If you know a lot of people, it helps. But there are systems, right? There are roadmaps, there are blueprints that help you to be able to do this, even without knowing a lot of people. Okay? Some of you say, oh, I'm not confident. I'm shy. And we're going to tackle that a little later on. Or you need to have good contacts. Again, it helps. But as you can see, we have strangers all over the globe coming into this platform. Why can't they join you? Does that make sense? Now, let's deal with this big one here. Pyramid schemes. Drop a 2 in the chat box if you heard, oh, it's one of those things. Oh, is it a pyramid scheme? Drop a 2 in the chat box. Yeah? Okay. Let's help you today. Let's help you today. Right? Pyramid schemes are illegal. Network marketing is not a pyramid scheme. A pyramid scheme is where there are no products, ladies and gentlemen. It is new money being brought in to pay old money. There are no products, no services. There are more distributors than there are customers, and you can never outrank the person that invited you. That is a pyramid scheme. You will go to prison for being in a pyramid scheme. Network marketing is, as I've just explained, simply word of mouth marketing. There are products, there are services, there are more customers than there are affiliates and distributors, and you can outrank the individual that referred you. This is powerful. This is powerful stuff. Guys, what does our product enable people to be able to do? Type in the chat box. Hello, somebody. It enables people to do what? Make money. You have live streams enabling you to do what? Make money. You have algorithms and tools and software enabling you to do what? Make money. There's products, there's services. There are more customers than there are distributors. And we have individuals in this organization, in wide organizations that have outranked the individuals that brought them on. This is network marketing. Right? That is the difference. Okay? That is the difference between the two. Right? Now, very quickly, I might address this later on, but I'll touch on it now. Just whilst we're here. Guys, in any given company, Drop a 7 in the chat if you can still hear me. Just want to make sure you can still hear me. Make sure you can still hear me. All right, fantastic. Thanks for making. I'm using my phone and my laptop. All right. In any given company, how many CEOs are there? CEO in any given company? One. Okay, one CEO. Okay. Board of directors? Maybe 3, maybe 5. Managing directors? Maybe 5, maybe 10. Senior managers? Maybe 20. Managers? Maybe 40. Employees? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. What structure does that look like? Type in the chat box. A pyramid. Okay. Who is making all the money at the top? The CEO. Okay. How is that working for you in that structure? I said we're going to tell the truth today. So I'm saying now, all right. But that's a pyramid structure. There can only be one CEO. There can only be a few board of directors. It is a pyramid. You understand? We're going to touch on this more later. But I want you to start seeing these things. How they will speak to you about what it is that we do here, not knowing that they are in their own prison of a pyramid scheme itself. It's crazy. Right? Now, let's continue. What are some of the benefits then of network marketing? This is powerful stuff. Number 1, minimal overhead costs. Guys, those of you who are building a business, type in them out. What do we pay to be an affiliate in network marketing in this platform? How much do we pay? 12, 15. Look at that. £12 per month, $15. Those of you who are affiliates, just type in the chat box real quick how much you're making per month. How much you're making per month? 500, 100, 1,500, 500, 3,000, 100, nearly 500. Okay, so you mean to tell me you can start a business with this minimal overhead cost and produce this level of profit? Where else? To start any form of traditional business takes massive startup costs. And they say what? 95% of most businesses fail within the first 5 years. So with this, you have the opportunity to start a business from home with minimal overhead costs without taking all the risks of traditional business and produce something that can pay you powerful. Minimal overhead costs. You have to pay staff. You don't have to pay inventory. You don't have to pay accounting. You don't have to pay for office space. None of this stuff. It's just a license to be able to run the business. Hello, somebody. Cash flow. Beautiful cash flow. You've just seen some of the amounts that people are making on a month-by-month basis. Right? The power of leverage, right? Leverage is one of the key principles to wealth as well. In trading, what do we use to make money? Leverage. In network marketing, what do we use to make money? Leverage. We leverage people, you leverage systems, you leverage money. Leverage is key to wealth. When you work a job, you have no leverage. Why? Because it's just you exchanging your time for money. When you stop working, what happens to the money? Type in the chat box. What happens to the money? You stop working. Money stops. If you're self-employed, it's all on you. What happens if you stop? If you don't show up? Money stops. Don't get paid. You understand? Right? There's no leverage. There's no leverage whatsoever. See, sometimes even within this industry, we can underestimate traditional business. I know people have smashed it here, go into traditional business, and they're like, my goodness, all this headache because there's no leverage. You see, you now try to do traditional business, you have staff to pay. You have all these other additional expenses that you have to now pay for. That's why most people don't make it, right? And because the entering cost of getting involved in network marketing is so small, people treat it like nonsense. If you really believe that this could pay you like a 6-figure business or a 7-figure business, you would treat it as such. If you had invested 100,000 into this business, you would work as if you did, and you would see different results. You understand? Business partnerships, the kind of business partnerships that have come as a result of being a part of different networks. Anyone heard the statement that your network is your net worth? Drop a 1 if you heard that statement before. The kind of additional deals that I get exposed to, that we get exposed to, private deals, all kinds of stuff, in law, in accounting, in property, all kinds of stuff, because of networks. Right? It's very, very, very serious. Next one, residual income. Money that comes to you whether you like it or not. Drop a 2 in the chat box if you would like to have money coming to you whether you like it or not. Guys, you know, in order for you to make money trading, you actually have to actively go ahead and press buy, sell. Residual income comes whether you place a trade or not. Win or lose a trade, money still comes. This is actually wise. This is residual income. You do work and then get paid for it later continually. A bit like owning property. Buy the property once, rent it out, right? Continual payment, reoccurring payment. A bit like being an artist. Make a song once. Michael Jackson, still being paid to this day in his grave. That is residual income. Am I making sense? Does it make sense, guys? Drop a 777 if this makes sense. This is a talk back pull, right? Very, very serious. This is the income of the wealthy. So you're not working just to exchange your time for money that stops when you stop. No, it continues with or without you so that you can have what? Flexibility, freedom. If I want to work today, I can work today. If I don't want to work today, I don't want to work today. Well, if I can't work, what happens to my money? So we'll talk about it. Personal development. Guys, the person that you become as a result of you being in this industry, the transformations that you get to witness, it's absolutely sensational who people have become. As a can you, those of you who are building a business, can you testify to this? Drop a 1 if you are a different person now than when you first got started. The confidence, the self-esteem, the mentality, the resilience, the mindset. Huh? Talk back to me. You change. And as a result of you changing, your money changes. Why this later on? You can do what? Work where you want, when you want, with whom you want. Imagine, you know, I'm near JP Morgan. Remember, you used to work for JP Morgan. Now, you ain't got no trace. Some of you guys, you've gone to work. Some of you are going to work right now, and you are experiencing anxiety. Oh, I'm telling the truth. Somebody help me. I'm telling the truth. You're experiencing anxiety because of the people you have to work with. Am I telling the truth? Stress? Some of you experienced racism in your jobs. You've experienced sexism in your jobs because you don't go out with the lads. On the Friday, they'll overlook you for promotion. Hello, somebody. You can work where you want. I want to work indoors. I want to work outdoors. Freedom, choices, options. When you want. These are some of the benefits. Travel. Guys, I never used to be into traveling. I just stay at home. Stay at home. Wow, because it's industry. Dubai. See people go to Las Vegas, Sweden, huh? Germany, Portugal, Mexico, right? People going to Thailand. Travel, freedom. It's very serious stuff. I've said the admirable working nature of network marketing compared to corporate rat race. Just like I've just said. You don't have to suck up to so-and-so in order to try and get promotion. Guys, I don't even know if I should go there. Lord have mercy. But you know it's true. I've seen it. You know, certain times, certain people do an absolute madness in order to secure the promo. Drop a 1 if you know what I'm talking about. Admirable working nature. If you want a promotion and there's just one position, you're fighting each other in order to obtain that one position. In network marketing, everyone wins. It's equal opportunities. Huh? It doesn't matter your background, where you've come from, your age, the color of your skin, your religion. It does not matter. Equal opportunities. Anyone can win. Admirable. Literally. Player versus player. It's equal opportunities. So we're grateful. Right? You're not being judged on things that you shouldn't have to be judged about, or where you've come from and your location, or because you didn't go to this school, or you don't hang around with this crowd, you can't get what? No. In this industry, that's out the window. People have gone to prison, have reformed their life, and are now rolling in it. You understand? Drop a 777 if this is making sense. Am I helping anybody in the school? Starting to open your eyes as to what's possible. This is why we do what we do. Okay? Let's move on. Right? So like I said before, the power of residual income, money that comes to you whether you like it or not. It is like owning property without the stress of property. And I remember people compared to property this, property that. I'm not property is great, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, same principle. I remember one of my good friends, you know, telling me, oh yeah, I've got 17 properties in Liverpool. I'm like, awesome, fantastic. You know, he told me about the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Very, very grateful for him. And he said, yeah, each property cost me at the time cost me about 40,000 to be able to pay him about 600 a month. 40,000 for 600 a month. Those of you who said you're making 500 and 900, how much did you pay for your affiliate kit? 5 minutes Starbucks. Huh? $15 for the same amount. Lord have mercy. Right? So you cannot lose money in building. You can lose money in trading. Income can fluctuate in business, of course, naturally. We don't lose money. You lose money in trading, which is fine. It's part of the process. This is why we have risk management. This is why I have good risk to reward, to make the process as simplistic as possible. Past profits are no guarantees of future returns, right? But imagine you have something that's coming in like clockwork. Trade placed, trade not placed. And residual income can be passed down. Active income stops with you. One of my associates from my previous company, you know, sadly, he passed away. Beast of a trader, beast of a business owner. Big boy trading account, big boy business. No longer here, income from trading stops. No longer here, the residual income continues. These are things you have to think about. Some of us haven't even considered these sorts of things. Residual income can be passed down. Active income stops with you. Drop a 222 if that makes sense. I'm making sure you guys are engaged today. It's important, right? Let's move. So our unique proposition. We have what I like to call the perfect combination of trading and network marketing. Why? Because we are providing something that everybody can use. You know, some of you have seen, you've been a part of, you're exposed to other network marketing companies, and I'm not knocking, I'm just saying, I'm going to break down a particular universal law. You know, some of you have been exposed to, remember network marketing companies that were trying to sell coffee? Huh? I've seen companies trying to sell pots and pans, utility bills, right? Very challenging. But here, the actual product makes money. It makes sense. It becomes a no-brainer. So it's widely applicable. If you are older, you need money. If you are younger, you need money. Regardless of where you're from, you need money. There's this law called, write this down, the law of compensation, which is you get paid in life for the need of what it is that you provide. You get paid for the need for what it is you provide. You know, people say money isn't everything. Oh, we heard that. But it's right up there with oxygen. In your books, some of your books, right? It says what? It says money, Ecclesiastes, it says what? Money answers all things. I didn't write it. I ain't right. Your book said it. Money answers all things. You need it. It's just the way the world works. People who have money, guess what they want? More of it. People who don't have money, guess what they want? Money. So type in the chat box, who can we help? Tell me in the chat box, who is our client? Everyone. So you can have an international global business everywhere with every race, every color, every creed, every religion. Why? Because everyone needs money. This opportunity is like Bitcoin in 2009. Millions and millions and millions and billions of people on this planet that you have access to who all need money, and you just need to get in the way to show them, hey, you have something here. You can actually clean up. Because you're providing value. Guys, the stuff you get in VTG, good Lord. People don't operate the way we operate. Documents, system, organization, sub-channel, this, that, training. We will tweak, we will upgrade, we will change, we will alter, work behind the scenes, plan, strategize to make sure people are fed. It's a genuine business. And because we give value, we get paid. Does that make sense? So that's our unique proposition. That is the opportunity that you have here. To not only make money from your smartphone through trading, through simple methods and more advanced methods, but also to share and run your own business. If I'm making sense, drop a 222 in the chat box. Awesome. Awesome. Now, another benefit, you can build trade and you have more capital to trade with. So if you run the business, it allows you to have bigger capital to trade with. Bigger capital, bigger profits. It's one thing trading with $100. It's another thing trading with $10,000. Right? Someone say, oh, what about prop firms? Prop firms. Awesome, fantastic. Prop firms are available, but aren't regulated, and they do fail. Some of the biggest prop firms that we know, Lord have mercy, over the past year and a half, went under. No one predicted it. No one saw it coming. They ain't regulated. Anything can happen. So it makes sense to make sure you're growing your personal capital. This is why we don't even push it. It can get a mention here and there. We ain't pushing it. You just don't know. But if you have a business now, you can now use some of that income for whatever you want, and some of that income to put into your personal trading account and do what? Speed up the compounding process. Drop a 7 in the chat box if you'd love to speed up the compounding process. That's what this business enables you to do. Right? It's very, very sweet. Multiple sources of income. No 7-figure trader solely relies on their trading income. I'm going to say that again. No 7-figure trader relies solely on their trading income. Alternative is to do what? To work a job or to sell something. You can sell your time, or you can sell a product or a service. Time is more valuable. Time is more valuable. And if I'm already using it, why not refer it? Warren Buffett here, greatest investor, one of the greatest, if not the greatest investor of all time, says what? Never rely on a single source of income. This is what average millionaire has 7 streams of income. Now, as I said before, with the personal development and the leadership development that comes as a result of this. Now, watch this. Let's talk about selling real quick. Selling, because some of you are like, sales, sales, sales. Let's go there. So you come to my house now. Let's talk about it. Selling is the world's highest paid profession. And leadership is the highest paid position. Again, selling is the world's highest paid profession. Highest paid. Leadership is the highest paid position. Every single one of you in this call are already in sales, whether you realize it or not. You sell yourself on ideas all the time. Everything is sales. Everything is negotiation. You are already in sales. You're already in sales. Guys, in order for you to have a boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, you have to sell yourself that you were the best or are the best candidate for marriage. Yes or no? You're in sales. Some of you have sold yourself on the idea that you don't like sales. Some of you have sold yourself on paradigms. Good Lord. You've sold yourself on belief systems, which aren't even serving you. Lord Jesus. Guys, let me show you how much you are in sales. Watch this now. Good Lord, I want to break something in this place. Let me show you how you're in sales. You sold yourself on the idea that you need a job, right? Important, vitally important. But you prospected companies through sending your CV, advertising and marketing yourself in comparison to everyone else. Hey, pick me, employ me. And you went to interview, and what did you have to do at the interview? Type in the chat box. What did you have to do in the interview? Sell yourself. Drop a 1 in the chat box if you have ever been rejected from a job offer after an interview. Okay, look at the ones. Okay, so you've all experienced rejection. Drop a 2 in the chat box if you went to apply for a different job. Okay, so you have experienced rejection. I don't like rejection. No. You've gone for rejection already. You got rejected from a job, and you tried again. 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 Until what? You got yourself a job. You were willing to persist until you got a job. Notice, now it was nuts, and people don't think about it. But I'm here to challenge you in your mind. I'm here to challenge you to think. That's why the book says, think and grow rich. You don't get rich through hustle and just work. These are necessary, but you get rich by thinking. Think about it. You were willing to go through rejection after rejection after rejection, selling yourself to get into a position of a job to still be struggling financially. Good Jesus. Imagine us working hard. CV, you think I don't know? I've been there. CV library, e-financial, total jobs. You think I don't know? I've been there. Total jobs, yes? Where else? Indeed, read, yes. CV after CV after CV after CV, interview after interview. You dressed up smart. Selling yourself. You got married. Selling yourself. You're in sales. Why not take that same resilience and determination and skill set and communication, which is what sales is, which is what you have to do in an interview, to get paid properly? You are already in sales. Drop a 111 in the chat box if that makes sense. You see, this is why we talk about the comfort zone. The comfort zone is the broke zone. You are doing what you're doing because that is what is comfortable to you. You can have either your current comfort zone and the same bank balance that you have, or you can leave the comfort zone, get uncomfortable, and increase the bank balance. And eventually, that will become a new comfort zone. But you cannot earn more being the same person you are today. And this is why we talk about personal development. This is why we talk about leadership development. This is a great quote that was said, I was like, it's so true. It says, when you win in network marketing, you win in life and in business. The person you become. That's why Jim Rohn said, listen, don't make a million just for the sake of making a million. Make a million and become a millionaire because of the person that you become in the process. The mindset you have, the skill set that you develop. You can end up taking stuff from people who become six-figure earners, seven-figure earners, and then they get it all back because they're a different person. Does that make sense? Right? Very serious. Make sure my chat is okay. All right. Bear me a second, guys. Sure my chat is okay. I'm using two devices. Okay. Right. Now, watch this. Who are you listening to? This is so important. This is key now. You know, Timothy down the road, Jacqueline. Oh, why are you doing that for? It's one of those things. They're brainwashing you. Blah, 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 blah. Who are you listening to? Who are you listening to? Write this down. Verify the source. Check the source. Write this down. Never take advice from someone you are unwilling to exchange places with. That's a six-figure wisdom right there. Never. You know? Sue saying, why are you doing that for? These things don't work. Don't make no money. What does Sue work as? How much is the Sue bank account? Shout out Sue if your name is Sue here. I love Sue's, you know. I'm just using it as an example. Look what multimillionaires and more importantly, billionaires say about network marketing. Robert Kiyosaki said, network marketing has proven itself to be a viable and rewarding source of income. There have been some remarkable examples of success, and those successes have been earned through diligence, enthusiasm, and the right products combined with timing. Not only are NWM companies thriving in all the major capitals of the world, but many are also working in developing nations, bringing financial hope to millions of people. Good Lord. Network marketing gives people the opportunity with very low risk, very low financial commitment to do what? Build their own income generating asset and acquire great wealth. It has the potential to save the US and the world because it teaches people not to be employees, but to become entrepreneurs. Billionaire Warren Buffett, he invested into a network marketing company. He said, what? The best investment I've ever made. This is crazy. Bill Gates, American billionaire and philanthropist. If I would be given a chance to start all over again, I would choose network marketing. Because it just makes sense. Bob Proctor, I would go into network marketing immediately. If it didn't exist, we should invent it. It is that good. Anthony Robbins, whether you like the guy's politics or not, Tony Blair, another one, right? Big boost into the economy, he now said. Right, Tony Robbins, motivational speaker and personal life finance instructor. What's beautiful about their marketing is that you've got all the benefits of being an owner, but you do not have to worry about supply chain. You do not have to worry about accounting, especially in the world we are today. There are really some great companies out there. Network marketing is amazing. Who are you listening to? Who are you listening to? Never take advice from people you are unwilling to trade places with. Does that make sense, guys? Drop a 777 in the chat box if that makes sense. Awesome. Let's move. Okay. Now, watch this, guys. This one's important. This one's important. If no one told you about VTG, about economy, about your team, you wouldn't be here. Think about that. If VTG, your team, economy, have been of value, drop a 1 in the chat box if you've seen value in what it is that we do. If you've been blessed in some way, major or small. Okay, fantastic. Ones are coming through. Okay, if it has been a value to you and a blessing to you, then why wouldn't you share it with someone else? Guys, there would be no VTG if someone didn't share this opportunity with me. And watch this now. The person who shared this industry with me had never made any profit from trading before they shared it with me. Good Lord. We're gonna touch on this. It's crazy. Doesn't it need to work for me before I share it? Let's go down. Going to work. It helps, but it is not mandatory. And the good thing is our system is designed to help you get results first. That is our priority. We want results. We want a strong foundation. But I just want to teach and educate you, to show you how it's not even mandatory. The person who showed me wasn't even profitable. And then they shared it to me. Watch this example here. Guys, this guy signed up 500 individuals. It was a previous company. 500 individuals, got to 10,000 a month. And then he downloaded his demo account. It's crazy. It's possible. Possible. Watch this, McDonald's. Guys, watch this. Let's say you own a McDonald's franchise. You understand franchising, yes? You own a McDonald's franchise. You're the owner of it. Does that mean you, as the owner, necessarily have to eat your own McDonald's food? Yes or no? No. But people want to eat McDonald's. I will sell it to them. That is business. Give the people what they want. Do I have to eat the food? No. Does it help if I eat the food? Yes. But do I have to? No. Give it, if that's what they want, give it to them. Now, we're not giving people McDonald's. What are we giving people? But you understand the principle. Right? It's like saying, let's say you went to law, university, you studied law. You went to university, you studied law, and you got a 3rd-class degree. Your friend went to the same university, same lecturer, same classes, same resources, and they got a 1st-class degree. You say, oh, I can't recommend law. It didn't work for me, so I can't recommend it. What? Law works. Just because you didn't make it work for you doesn't mean it can't work for someone else. Do you know there are people, people will testify, there are people who have shared this with someone else. They came on board, learned trading quicker than them, and end up teaching them how to trade more. Oh, this is good teaching. Just because you haven't got your breakthrough yet doesn't mean you should block someone else from getting theirs. They can come in, learn it quicker than you, and end up showing you more and teaching you and being a blessing to you. Oh, this is good stuff. Am I making sense? Two, if this is helping anybody. You need to see things differently. Think and grow rich. As I said, it will help. And our system is designed to get your results first, by all means. But it's none of this, I have to be an expert trader. I have to be a funded trader. I have to make $1 million by next week before I consider sharing with someone. What the heck is that about? Just need a result. So I hope we've dispelled that myth. Now, some of you, valid reason. This one's valid. This is big. This is valid. Oh, I love it. But Jason, I shared previous opportunities. Jason, do you remember the crypto currency market and everything was going left? I shared previous opportunities. My credibility is in the drain. Ooh, and it went left. People lost money. There were other opportunities. I hear it. I understood. Watch this. Game changer. Robert Kiyosaki, again. Watch what he said here. This is game changer. He said, I have met many millionaires who have lost money. Yet I have met many broke people who have never lost money. I said, my goodness, don't let that go over your head. What does that mean? It means if you have lost money ever in any project in the pursuit of financial freedom, you are actually doing the right thing. You are actually sharing company with the greats. The key is to not give up. The key is to not stop. Failure, write it down. Failure is the route to success. You can't tell me one successful entrepreneur, businessman, sports person, celebrity, or whatever, right, actually giving value, who hasn't experienced failure, who hasn't experienced loss in finances. If you are unwilling to take L's, that's why when people drop sad emojis, I'm like, you need to pattern up. And that's why I'm glad you're here, because you're gonna learn the culture of what we do in VTG. That's why I drop the salutes when we take the L's. Go ahead. We can take an L. We can handle L's in this group. Drop a one if you can take an L, if you can take a punch. Right? We ain't backing down. No, we can hold it. And we'll come again. And we'll come again. And we'll come again. That's resilience. You think you're going to be financially free, being weak, not being able to take an L? A bad trade, a bad week? No, it's not going to work. You have to be stronger. Business, and this is what? 95% of businesses fail. Why? 5% of the people are the people who went through the same stuff but never gave up. Right? Let's say you're building a business, you struggled. People who make it in the end are the people who never gave up. Failure is the route to success. You only need to be right once. We've seen previous projects, this, that, and the other. You only need to be right once. Jackpot. Hello, somebody. So that quote there is a game changer. I use that. I share this with people, and I give encouragement to people who have experienced loss. I've experienced loss. But I didn't let that stop me. Write this down. Some will, some won't. So what? Next. Someone else is waiting. Am I helping anybody in this school? Drop a 222 if that makes sense. Regardless of previous opportunities. In fact, it doesn't make sense here to be willing to go hard to share opportunities that have failed. And when you find the one that is working, that you can clearly see is benefiting thousands of people, and say, no, I'm not going to share this one. How does that make any sense? Think and grow rich. I hope I'm helping somebody. This is the quicker route to escape the 9-to-5, guys. If your goal, because not everyone wants to, I know a lot of people do, some people don't, they love their jobs, kudos to you. Right? If your goal is to escape the 9-to-5, this is the quickest route to do so. Learning the skill takes time. Right? Learn the skill. I'm all for it. Learn the skill. Go. But just be prepared to stay in that job for years. Business is about speed and urgency. Trading is about taking your time. Be slow. Risk management, risk reward, patience, compound. Anybody who tries to rush the process of trading has paid the price. Some of you are in this call. You've paid the price. You tried to rush it. Over leveraging, I know. I've been there. You pay the price. Some of them have done a madness on their accounts. Why? Because they're trying to rush the process. It can't be rushed. But business is about speed. It's about urgency. You can rush because you have more control here. You can't control the markets, but you can control your efforts, your activity. So when you combine the two, game over. You can operate with speed and urgency in business. We tell people this. If there are two 20-pound notes on the floor, guys and girls, around your house, and there's no one around you, are you picking up one or are you picking up both? Drop a 2 in the chat box if you're picking up both. You're picking up both. You're picking up both. Guys, here you have the opportunity to do what? Pick up both. If you're not willing to take risks in life, start your own gig, business, then you will work for someone who does. And if you love your job, kudos to you. Fantastic. I love that. I love hearing when people love their job. That's awesome. But most people I know, they do not. And guys, this is strong, but it's the truth. If you keep trying to pick and choose how you want to make money, money will pick and choose how and when it comes to you. And then potentially it leads you to this, having to pick and choose, which bill do I pay? I've been there. Which bill do I pay? That's a stressful situation. You have the chance to pick up 2 20-pound notes off the floor. Drop a 1 if that makes sense. Right. So why is a special call? The last time we did this was December. We just give, and then boom, we drop this. Psychology of trading. It takes the pressure of having to constantly be profitable, constantly, right? Guys, I have conversations. As work with a lot of people. You're trying to speed up the process. You can't. You have to constantly be profitable because you've got multiple sources of income. That's why in the launch document, at the very end of our launch document, we mention residual income. Why? Because we understand people, when they get desperate for money, they do crazy actions. And that's why we mentioned, if you have 2 streams of income, less need for desperation. Does that make sense? Now, this is very important. Residual income, guys, is an insurance policy against tragedy and trauma in your life. My mother passed away 2 years ago, heart attack. Do you think I'm going on the charts, trying to make money and trading correctly? But guess what happened like clockwork? Money was coming in, residual income. Some of you know my story. Some of you don't. We don't need to get into it today. Crazy story. I'm sure you guys have, crazy stories too. Crazy story. Crazy story. There were times I did not want to be on this earth any longer. This has been the last 4 years. If it had not been for residual income, I do not know where I'd be today. Be able to pay all the things that have needed to have been paid for. And people think that could never happen to me until it does. This is why it says in your book, it says invest in 7, yes, 8 streams of income, because you do not know what disaster will happen in the land. The principle is that disaster and wonderful occasions, they happen. This is life. You just don't know what it's going to be and when it's coming. You need barriers of protection. This is why I call it an insurance policy against tragedy. and trauma in your life. Drop a 7 if that makes sense. I've already mentioned that last bit already. Now, again, there are universal laws that come to your aid when you work to help other people prosper. You attract aid into your life when you help others prosper. Person who mentored me in my trading journey only got connected to me after I had reached 5K a month. My influence expanded, my network expanded. People want to get connected to people and with people who are accomplishing great things. It literally says, again, in your books, those who water others, in other words, refresh and pour into, right, help other people to prosper, will themselves prosper. This is why it says what? Give and you shall, type in the chat box, give and you shall what? Hello, somebody. Receive. Because we want to do a lot of receiving, but not a lot of giving. You focus on giving, you receive. This is what business is. Everything. It has been designed in nature. Universal laws of reciprocation. Give and take, give and take. What do we breathe out? What do the trees breathe in? And vice versa. Businesses only survive if they give what? Value. Right? You have to give. And as a result of you doing this, the impact on people's lives, phenomenal. People like Nicola Johanna, people like one of my good friends, ED, now no longer working a job, able to be a full-time pastor, fulfilling his calling in life because we shared the information, making 5-figure trading results now. Another guy shared, now lives in Dubai because I shared the opportunity with him from trading. Another guy, good friend of mine, shared the opportunity with him. Now as a stay-at-home dad, because he doesn't want his children to be corrupted by the crap that's going on in society right now. Teaching the kids all kinds of madness that they have no business hearing about. Stays at home. We got people in Jamaica making money following our system, getting funded. You've seen the testimonials in Discord. There are people who have said, there are multiple who said, Jason, I was just praying the last night, and then you called me the next day. I said, I'm not surprised. I said, I'm not surprised. And so just for a few minutes, I want to bring on Nicola back onto this call to just share a few words about how this industry has been a blessing to her. This system, this industry has been a blessing to her, what she'll be able to accomplish as a result. This call is we only do it like once a year. So just take the time, sit tight, because we want to give you this information because, again, you get exposed to so much information. Some people are like, oh, it's long. It's okay, you watch your films, it's long. And after the film, you still have to face your life. Sometimes just take the information. Don't complain. Get the information and change your life. So with that being said, Nicola Johanna, just want to bring you back onto the stage, the virtual stage. Are you there, madam? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you guys hear me and see me clearly? You guys can hear me? Drop a 7 in the chat if you can hear me, please. Awesome, excellent. So first of all, before I kind of speak on my journey with BTG, I just want to give it back to Jason. Like, guys, everything he's saying is facts on facts on facts. Like, you don't, until someone tells you, some of this stuff may seem obvious when you hear it, but until someone tells you and teaches you and breaks it down the way he has, it doesn't really hit home. But for me, hearing this call at this stage where I am now, it's like I can retrace my own steps and my own journey and say yes, 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 yes to every single thing he said. Literally, like when I started, guys, I was working as a lawyer. Okay, those of you who don't know my story, I'm a property lawyer by profession. That's like my background. But I was struggling, right? I was working solid, like solid. And I was doing Uber in the evenings. I was doing airport runs before work in the morning to try and keep myself afloat, right? Because for me, it was always about the goal. the goal for me was always to better myself, to better my son, to look after my mum. You know, those of you may not know, my mum has some mental health issues, and she's had those since I was a baby. So I've grown up with a very kind of turbulent childhood at times, because of her bipolar disorder, right? And it's a single parent family. So if she's not there, it's like, you know, we're fending for ourselves kind of thing. So it was always in my mind that I wanted to do better. I wanted to be able to protect her. I wanted to be able to provide for her. I knew that when I had my son, I didn't want him to grow up struggling in lack the way that I kind of grew up sometimes. So it was always in my mind on I need this thing, I need to get to this place. But the only information I had to get there was the traditional route, right? University, grades, all that kind of stuff, qualify, get a good job, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I did. Come to find out, I'm working all the hours and it's not even touching the sides. You know, my son is in school, is in private school, and I can't keep up. You know, something that Jason said was really kind of impactful. He said, if you keep picking and choosing, you know, how you're gonna make money, then money's gonna pick and choose how it comes to you. Do you see what I mean? Like for me, it literally came down to picking and choosing which bill am I going to pay this month, because I don't have enough money to pay them all. Like it was the picking and choosing got really hard. You know what I mean? It's like every month I'm phoning one place to make an excuse and I'm paying the next one. And then the following month I'll make an excuse to that one and pay the previous one just to keep afloat. And imagine that's after doing years of graft, years of work experience, years of like tests and exams and qualifications to get this so-called good job that the system sells us on, right? The other pyramid scheme, right? Where there's few people at the top making all the money and you can never out earn them, right? And so for me, the crux really came because I was shown information by my cousin. And at the time when I actually took the opportunity, she wasn't making that much money trading. Like she didn't know my situation. She didn't come to me for any particular purpose, but she knew, she saw the value. She saw the value in VTG. She said, let me share it. And I'm so grateful that she was not a person that said, I need to make money first before I can tell somebody else. Because if she had made that decision, I don't know where I would be, right? Only because she was humble enough. And I say it's humility. I say it's humility because I think that a lot of people try to hide their fear by making it some kind of virtue. Oh, when I make it, I can tell somebody else. There's nothing virtuous about that. It's selfish. There's nothing virtuous about that. You're not helping a single person by you getting to the bag before you open your mouth. You're not helping nobody. The only person you're helping is yourself. And the only person you're soothing is your own fear that you might not be able to do it. The other person that you might tell that can come in and do it faster than you doesn't care how much money you've made. Their priority is their bag, their family, their life, whether they can pay their bills. They don't care what you're making, right? When I started sharing this, I started sharing it because number one, I understood that I needed to make money and I understood I needed money to make money, right? I didn't have any money. I literally started trading with my rent money and I couldn't afford the next month's subscription. I literally paid the first month in faith, hoping that something would happen to allow me to afford another month because I already knew I couldn't, right? And it was literally when I could see consistent profits, but it was like £1 something, £2 something. I said to Jason, is there a way to make this go faster? How do I make this bigger? And he said, you can share and the company will give you residual income. I said, please show me how to do that. Because for me, it's not about trading, right? You guys, drop in the chat for me real quick. What is your actual goal? When you started trading, what was your goal? What did you join for? Drop it in the chat, whether it's 1 word, 2 words, whatever. Just drop it in the chat real quick because I want to illustrate a point here. So Jessica wants to pay her mortgage. Gareth wants more family time. Okay, so you guys have goals, right? You're gonna be like Jason, not working by 4 at 30, financial freedom. Right, freedom. Okay, I notice no one so far has said my goal is to be able to understand lines on a chart. Nobody has put that. Nobody starts trading because their goal is to be a trader. You start because you need the money to do something, right? So keep the main thing the main thing. How can you be picking and choosing? Oh, I only want to trade. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Oh, is your goal the goal or is the goal to trade? What are we doing here? Because I understood that if I didn't do everything I could do, I wasn't going to get to my goal. And my goal is the thing that I'm here for. That's why I signed up. That's what I paid my money for, to get to the goal. Not to understand lines on a chart or to be some kind of professor of Manara or whatever. That's not what we joined for, right? So keep the main thing the main thing. I understood the value and I shared. Because I shared, One of my relatives was able to come onto the platform that I was on at the time. She was able to learn to trade before I learned to trade. She was able to quit her job before I quit my job. So she was able to better herself and look after her kids faster than me. So should I have not told her until I was secure? No, that's not the point of this. That's not the point. If this is something that's impactful, that's full of value, that can help somebody else, you can't gatekeep it. That's counter to the whole point of it being here. That's counter. Because nobody gets here unless someone tells them, right? No one is on this call because without someone telling you. So there's no gatekeeping here. That's not how it goes, right? Now, another thing is that over the course of time, I was able to obviously learn my trading skills and improve on that. I was able to use residual income, and that the combination of the two made both work better. The combination of the two made both better. Some of you will struggle in trading, like again, because of psychological problems, because of, issues with money and finances, and your trading actually gets better when you're not worrying about the money. When you know that you can top up your trading account, you know that if you make a mistake, you can cover it. You know that you can sustain your journey. You're not worrying about how am I going to cover that fee. Everything gets better and you get to your goal, right? And then very quickly before I finish off, the other part of this is personal development. And I cannot thank VTG, I cannot thank Jason enough for introducing me to personal development. Guys, the lady you see in this call right now, and some of you have met me in person, the person you see now is not the person I was 5 years ago. I had trauma, I had issues, I had people-pleasing tendencies because of the way that I'd been brought up, right? I was confident in certain areas, but I had a very negative kind of mindset. I always believed in myself, but I was always beset by problems, and I always let that weigh on me so heavily. I was always catering for somebody else, looking after somebody else, and neglecting myself, right? And the process of personal development and what it taught me, the disciplines it taught me, the motivations it taught me, the mindset it had that it gave me, permeated every area of my life. Because when I quit my job, I started a consultancy legal business. Guys, do you realize that in my job, right, part of the reason why I left was because I trained a trainee and they paid her the exact same salary as me once she qualified. I had 5 years experience on her. She qualified and they paid me the exact same as her. They didn't increase my pay. They gave her the same salary as me. And I said, hell no. I said, hell no. I said, what? Right? And at the time, I think I was making about 35K, right? Do you realize that when I created my legal consultancy business, I was making probably 2 to 3 times what I was making as a full-time lawyer in a firm? And then do you realize that one of my clients actually offered me a 6-figure position? Now, what was the difference between me working in a firm for 35K and all of a sudden being able to attract somebody that wanted me to work solely for them for 6 figures? Personal development. I evolved, I changed, I grew because of this community. So you guys are thinking, oh, it's just money in the trading account. No, 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 no. When you change, you will command money in every area of your life. Every room you go into, every person you meet will attract money to you. Will attract money to you. Not even can, will. Because of the person you become. You will become a different person. And I'm telling you right here and now, if you're on this call and you want more money and you join BTG for more money, but you are not prepared to change who you are, kiss goodbye to that goal. Because nothing changes unless you change. The way you think, the way you've been programmed, your take on life, your views on this, your opinions on that, that's got you stuck at your current bank balance. If you don't change that, don't expect the numbers in the bank balance to change. If you can't stop listening to yourself and start listening to people that have the results, do not expect a single thing to change, because it would be unfair for it to change. It would be unjust for it to change. It wouldn't make sense for it to change. Why would it change? Someone could give you £1 million today, and if you don't change and become a millionaire in your mindset, that thing's going to go straight back to whatever your current balance is. 1 year, 2 years tops, you'll be back to where you are, because you're not programmed to keep it. You're actually programmed to not have it. This is deeper than just trading, guys. I'm trying to help somebody on this call, and this is just my testimonial, but all I can say is I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I was able to put aside my fears, put aside my negative thoughts, put aside my paradigms, and just say, I am willing to change. What do I need to do? There's someone with results. Please tell me, what do I need to do? And I will do it. Because my goal is so important to me that I will do it because that goal has to get done. And I'm not willing to jeopardize it by me trying to remain part me and trying to do this my way. Okay, I'll do that your way, but I'm going to do this my way. No, 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 no. Do it well, do it properly so it sticks. That's my advice to every single one of you. That's my advice to every single one of you. Do it well so it sticks. And you will never, ever have to worry about money again in your life. Even if you lose it, even if something happens, you've got the skills inside of you to get it straight back. You don't need to worry. So again, thank you, Jason. That's my testimonial, guys. Okay, killing it in trading, killing it in business, and in every other area of life as well. You know what I mean? It's a holistic journey. Just plug in, stay coachable, and lean on your mentors. They are there to help you. They have a vested interest in seeing you win. Literally a vested interest in seeing you win. You cannot fail if you stick to them. Thank you, Jason.
Wow. 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 Guys, 7777 for Nicola. Absolutely sensational. She is the most coachable person I have ever met in my entire life. And that is why there's no surprise as to the results. And you know what's funny? Me and Nicola, when we first met each other, we didn't even like each other. You know, it's just what I'm saying. It's crazy. But she said, I don't need to like this dude to learn from him. And some of you only listen to people that you like. Some of you are only willing to do what the person who has results tells you to do if you agree with it or not. That's not coachability. I don't agree with it, so I'm not going to do it. That's not coachability. And it will always, 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 always come back to results. They never lie. You know, they say the table never lies. You know, Man United was 14th before that joker got sacked. The table didn't lie. He had to go. Your uncoachability must go in order for you to rise up the table. Jason, you're preaching good today. Your uncoachability must leave in order for you to rise up the table. If you want to rise up the table, drop a 111 in the chat box. I'm telling you guys, this is very serious. This is very serious indeed, right? We've got just a few more slides to get through and we will be done. I see the numbers drop off and that's fine. You know, everyone, some people got genuine reasons as to why they need to bounce. It's cool. We're not told do what you need to do. But the reality is, the information is on this call that has created 6 and 7 figure earners. You know, I've had conversations with people. I said, this is not again about being arrogant. It's just about results. I too speak to people who make 25, 50, 100,000 a month and beyond, whatever. It does not make sense. Think about this, guys. Think about this real quick. Imagine you have someone in your phone book, because some of you, maybe you do have a lot of people like this, but I know many of you don't. Imagine having someone in your phone book who makes 100,000 a year, 200,000 a year, $1 million a year, and you don't message them. Some of you have been personally enrolled by me, 15,000 a month, funded trader, whatever. Nicola, right? All these other individuals, these phenomenal leaders that you see on this call, and you don't message them. You don't message me. It says you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I was with Premium Bells the other day, and he said it. He said, people are comfortable spending time with people who are just like them and who earn what they earn. One of the wisest things you can do is not necessarily cut off, but to spend less time with people who are just like you. And the problem is because when you get around someone who's making way more, they challenge your beliefs, they challenge your thinking. And it makes you uncomfortable. So you think, okay, let me retract and let me hang around the people who are the same level as me. But then look at the results. You have to make up in your mind, I'm going to communicate more with the people who have the results that I have. It's just a decision. It's just a choice. Can't force it. Either way, we all go back to our lives. You understand? Right? So let's move on. So again, just like Nicola mentioned, selflessness. Trading makes money for you. Building makes money for you and others. On your last day, will they say, oh, she made a lot of money. Wow. Or she helped a lot of people. I think about this. I think who will be at my funeral? Who? Impact and income. As we said, if no one told you you're going to be here, don't let fear or ego stop you. Some like, oh, I'm too scared. What? Let me again, not to be, I didn't say this from last year because again, I grow, I get information. And this is not to be too morbid, but I want to share this because I remember I had a conversation with one of my brothers here, one of my brothers, Reese, right? Reese is now, flying, he's doing phenomenally well. And he came and he spoke about the confidence to be able to share the information, right? And I said to him, guys, listen closely, because again, right now, it's feeling like you're meant to be on this call, especially as the numbers go down. Watch this. Most people, their greatest fear, right? Something was public speaking. Most people, they fear passing away. They don't know what to expect on the other side. Okay. But think about it again. Think and grow rich. You fear that, but it is going to happen anyway. What's worse, that or calling someone, that or sending someone a text, that or posting a TikTok online? If the worst case scenario is going to happen anyway, I might as well throw out the TikTok. I might as well throw out the group. I might as well send the voice note. It's not going to get worse. The worst is already going to happen anyway. You have one life here. Do you want to get to 70, 80, 90? I didn't do much because I was scared. I was concerned about what Kathy would think about me. But Kathy's not going to, Kathy does not escape in death either. None of us are. So who really matters here? What really matters? Does that make sense, guys? Can you see where I'm coming from? Drop a 222 if that makes sense. The worst is going to happen. You might as well do it anyway then. Don't let fear stop you. You go for it. This is in every era. Go for it. You've got one life down here. And you're going to let fear, shyness, lack of confidence. No. Go for it. Go. Watch this. Don't let people say, oh, I'm this, I'm not this. Da, 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 da. Watch this. Don't let who you identify as stop you from being who you could become. Guys, believe it or not, I used to be super skinny. I used to be, not wrong being skinny, I used to be super skinny. I was a follower. I wasn't loud. I had zero confidence. I would never speak in public. I am a completely different human being. What the heck happened? What the hell happened to me? I was willing to change because it was more important than how I felt. You see, when something becomes that important, you will change. See, I don't believe people. I believe in people, but I don't believe people. Let me say, oh, this is going on. This is really important. Show me how important it is by what you do, and you will change. You'll be willing to do things you never thought possible because it becomes important. You must be different to have different. Lack of interest. Someone's going to say, oh, I'm just not interested in sharing. Okay, cool. Lack of interest is only acceptable depending on the severity of your situation. Situational severe, no problem, whatever, no problem, live it up. But if you're telling me, oh, this is going on, this debt, this health, private school, blah, 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 do you have a choice? As we said before, if you pick and choose how you want to make money, money will pick and choose how and when it comes to you, right? So we've got a business with a business with a proven blueprint, right? We're going to skim past this now. We have a step system to follow, a roadmap to follow. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. We're going to teach, train, and coach you what to do. The sponsors have a vested interest in seeing you succeed. It is about each one reaching one. Okay.